Pediatricians say medications like these should not be marketed for young kids. The effects of a misdiagnosis can have harder effects on kids. That's why getting a doctor's opinion never hurts. Participation in study abroad programs among University of Wyoming students increased nearly 8-fold in the past 5 years. University officials attribute the jump to growing interest in international affairs and new financial aid opportunities. The Jazz Orchestra was trying to raise money in the Natrona County High School cafeteria for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. A garage sale is just one fundraiser parents and students are attempting. An avalanche struck a lift-top restaurant at Jackson Hole Mountain Resort, spilling snow through a back door but not hurting anybody. The avalanche occurred around 9:30 a.m. Monday, just 2 days after an avalanche killed a skier inside the resort boundary. While a federal report released last week says a Cold War-era missile site near Cheyenne is likely the source of contamination in the city's drinking water supply. St. Stephen's Indian School, Wyoming's oldest continually operating school, broke ground for a new high school building. The new building, which is expected to cost $10 million, will house grades 9 through 12. The Lost Arrow Archery Club of Casper held its first event of the season today. About 30 people participated, and they traveled from all over Wyoming to get there. Getting kids to eat their fruits and veggies on a regular basis is like pulling teeth, but the students at Pineview Elementary School didn't seem to mind their peas. Everyone I talked to about the negative ad said that they would rather hear the candidates talk about the issues rather than spend time and money insulting each other. With stocks fluctuating each day, it remains to be seen how the ups and downs in the market will affect Wyoming's isolated economy. From Casper, I'm Marielle Ashley for K2 News. On the 1st of December, individuals and organizations from around the world come together for World AIDS Day to bring attention to the global AIDS epidemic. This year marks the 20th anniversary of World AIDS Day. With a significant increase in new HIV infections here in Wyoming, officials are encouraging the public to get tested.
We're attributing these new cases to the more availability of testing around the state.
Early Intervention Services added nearly 3 times as many new HIV and AIDS cases to its program this year than in previous years. The federally funded program usually adds between 6 to 10 new people each year, but Lori Johnson, clinical director of the program, says that number is up.
Since April of this year, we've added 31 new clients to our caseload, which in the big scheme of things doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when you look at the population of Wyoming and having about 190 HIV positive cases, adding 30 more is a huge number.
Confidential rapid HIV testing was held at the Early Intervention Services Clinic and at the Natrona County Public Health offices. Johnson says education is key to fighting HIV.
Getting through a lot of those barriers, the stigma, the I don't want to know, it doesn't happen here, are huge.
To prevent getting or spreading HIV and AIDS, it's always important to keep safety in mind.
Doesn't discriminate against anybody, young, old, black, white, gay, straight, bi, transgender. It can affect everyone.
Always remember to think before you act. In Casper, I'm Marielle Ashley for K2 News. It's the leading cause of heart disease, stroke, kidney disease, blindness, even amputation. But did you know that more Americans fear being bit by a shark than getting diabetes? A recent poll conducted by the American Diabetes Association showed only a mere 3% of people surveyed worry about diabetes. Dr. Babak Pazuki says this is troubling to him. He says people are not taking diabetes as seriously as they should.
So the statistics are tremendous. They're really huge. And so we need to know that we are all at risk.
The survey also says people worry more about getting killed in a plane crash and being hit by lightning than they do about getting diabetes. Nancy Johnson lives with diabetes.
We have millions of people that do have the disease, and it just really surprises me that they fear other things more than they do getting the diabetes.
The ADA says the number of people diagnosed with diabetes is growing at an alarming rate. Nearly 24 million children and adults now have diabetes, and another 57 million Americans are at risk of getting the most common type of diabetes, type 2. Nearly 25% of people who have diabetes don't even know it.
Fortunately or unfortunately, diabetes doesn't hurt. It doesn't cause pain until very late stages or advanced stages of the condition. So people try to ignore it. The number 2 reason is probably denial. So there are a number of people who have diabetes and they don't know it, or they know it and they disregard it. Why? Because they know somebody in the family or in the friends or people who they know has had diabetes, and then they know how they struggle with management of the disease, and therefore they go into denial because they don't want to know that they have diabetes.
Pazuki says one reason people don't want to know if they have diabetes is economics. He says many can't afford the insurance premiums they will face once they are diagnosed with it.
Once you have diabetes, first of all, your insurance premium will really go up, and also the medications are very, very expensive, some of the medications that are used for diabetes. And again, diabetes goes along other conditions that require medication.
Luckily, there are steps people can take to manage the disease if they have it, or reduce their chance of getting it if they don't.
It's just giving them the tools and the power to control diabetes rather than having diabetes control them.
And the least expensive way to manage or prevent getting type 2 diabetes is simply changing a few lifestyle habits.
Change our dietary habits, change our physical activity. If we can do even little things to increase our physical activity just a little, it can have a tremendous effect on our health.
In Casper, I'm Marielle Ashley for K2 News.